I was brushing my teeth before bed when I saw it. A second toothbrush in the holder. Blue, electric, expensive looking. Not mine. I stared at it for a solid 10 seconds, foam dripping down my chin, brain trying to make it make sense. My wife, Rachel, appeared in the doorway. "You coming to bed?" I pointed at the toothbrush. "What's this?" She glanced at it, barely a pause. "Oh, that's Kyle's. He crashed here last night after the work thing. You were already asleep." Kyle, her work friend, the one she'd been texting at all hours, the one who apparently needed a place to crash, and a toothbrush. In our bathroom. "He left his toothbrush here?" I asked slowly. "Yeah, he bought it at CVS on the way over. Said he'd grab it next time." Next time. I rinsed my mouth, set down my toothbrush, turned to face her. "Rachel, why does your work friend have a toothbrush in our house?" She sighed like I was being difficult. "It's not a big deal, Nathan. He's just a friend." Just a friend. I looked at that blue toothbrush sitting next to mine like it belonged there, and something in my chest went cold and sharp. "Okay," I said quietly. She blinked. "Okay?" "Yeah, okay." I walked past her, grabbed my phone and texted my brother. "Can I crash at your place tonight?" He replied in 10 seconds. "Doors open." I packed a bag while Rachel watched from the bedroom doorway, confused. "Nathan, where are you going?" "Out," I said. "Kyle can have my spot. Apparently he's already got everything else." I walked out. What I didn't tell her was that I'd been tracking her phone for 3 weeks, and I knew exactly where she'd been when Kyle crashed here. If you want to know what a man finds when he stops believing lies and starts checking facts, hit subscribe, because that toothbrush wasn't the only thing Kyle left behind. My name is Nathan Cross. I'm 38 years old, and I'm a systems analyst for a healthcare company in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm the guy who fixes problems other people don't see. Network vulnerabilities, data gaps, security holes. I find patterns. I connect dots. It's what I do for a living. And 3 weeks ago, I started doing it at home. Rachel and I had been married for 6 years, together for 8. We met at a friend's wedding. She was a bridesmaid, I was a groomsman. We got stuck at the same table during dinner and ended up talking until the venue kicked us out. She was smart, funny, worked in marketing for a tech startup, had this energy that made every room feel brighter. I fell hard. We bought a house in South Charlotte, a little craftsman bungalow with a front porch and a backyard big enough for a dog we kept saying we'd get someday. For years, it was good. Then, about 6 months ago, things shifted. It started small. She'd be on her phone more, smiling at texts she wouldn't share. "Who's that?" I'd ask. "Just work stuff," she'd say, already typing a reply.
Then came the late nights. "I have a client dinner, team drinks, strategy session." I didn't question it. She worked hard. I trusted her. But then the names started appearing. Kyle. "Kyle and I are working on the new campaign. Kyle thinks we should pivot the messaging. Kyle's so funny, you'd like him. Kyle, Kyle, Kyle." At first, I didn't think much of it. Coworkers talk about coworkers. That's normal. But then I noticed she'd started dressing differently on Kyle days. Better jeans, nicer tops, perfume I didn't recognize. And she'd come home later, much later. "How was work?" I'd ask. "Exhausting," she'd say, heading straight for the shower. Every time. 3 weeks ago, I did something I'm not proud of. I installed a tracking app on her phone. Not some shady spyware, just a family locator app, the kind parents use with teenagers. We'd actually talked about getting one months earlier for safety reasons, but never followed through. I set it up while she was in the shower one night. Took 30 seconds. She never noticed. And that's when the patterns started showing up. The app showed her location history, timestamps, addresses. Monday night, client dinner at 7 p.m. Her phone was at the Ritz-Carlton Uptown from 7:15 p.m. to 11:43 p.m. Not at a restaurant, at the hotel. Wednesday, late meeting until 10 p.m. Her phone was at a condo building in Dilworth, not our office, not a client site, a residence. Friday, team drinks after work, same condo, 6:30 p.m. to 1:14 a.m. I cross-referenced the address. Kyle Morrison, Unit 4B. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I kept watching, kept tracking. The pattern was consistent. 2, sometimes 3 nights a week she'd end up at Kyle's place. She'd tell me she was working late, grabbing drinks with the team, meeting a client. Her phone told a different story. And I started noticing other things. New lingerie in her drawer, lacy, black, stuff she never wore for me. Receipts for restaurants I'd never been to. A charge for $180 at a boutique hotel in Asheville the weekend she said she was at a marketing conference. I pulled up the conference schedule online. It was virtual that year. She'd lied, and I had believed her. The toothbrush was the breaking point. I came home from work on a Tuesday. Normal day. Rachel was in the kitchen, making dinner. "Hey, babe," she said, not looking up from her phone. "Hey." I went upstairs to change, walked into the bathroom, and there it was, a blue electric toothbrush, Oral-B, still in the charging stand, next to mine. I stared at it like it was a bomb. My brain went into overdrive, analyzing, connecting dots. She'd said Kyle crashed here last night. I'd been asleep. I'd taken NyQuil for a cold and passed out around 9 p.m. I checked the tracking app. Her phone had been home all night, but there was another device on our Wi-Fi network, a phone I didn't recognize, connected from 11:47 p.m. to 6:23 a.m. Kyle had been here, in our house, while I was asleep in our bed, and he'd left his toothbrush. I didn't explode. I didn't yell.
I walked downstairs, calm as I've ever been, and asked the question. "Rachel, whose toothbrush is that upstairs?" She didn't even flinch. "Oh, that's Kyle's. He stayed over last night." "Why?" "We were working late on the campaign. He had a few drinks, didn't want to drive. I told him to crash on the couch." "And he needed a toothbrush?" "He stopped at CVS on the way over, said he'd grab it next time." Next time. Like it was already planned, like this was normal. I looked at her, really looked at her. She wasn't nervous, wasn't guilty. She was annoyed that I was asking. "Nathan, it's not a big deal. He's just a friend." Just a friend. I nodded. "Okay." "Okay? Yeah." I went upstairs, grabbed my gym bag, and started packing. "Where are you going?" she called after me. "Out." "Nathan!" "Kyle can have my spot," I said. "He's already got a toothbrush here. Might as well." I walked out the front door and didn't look back. I drove to my brother's place in Ballantyne. He opened the door in sweatpants and a Hornets t-shirt, took one look at my face, and stepped aside. "Beer?" he asked. "Yeah." We sat on his couch. I told him everything. The tracking, the lies, the toothbrush. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he handed me another beer. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." "You need a lawyer." "I know. Like tomorrow." "I know." He leaned back. "Man, I'm sorry. Rachel seems solid." "Yeah," I said. "So did the Titanic." I called a lawyer first thing the next morning. Her name was Monica Reeves, came highly recommended, specialized in high-conflict divorces. I sat in her office and laid out everything, the tracking data, the receipts, the timeline. She took notes, didn't look shocked, didn't look surprised. "Do you have proof of the affair?" she asked. "I have her location data showing she's been at his apartment multiple times a week for months. That's circumstantial. Do you have photos, messages, anything explicit?" "Not yet." "Then we need to get it." She slid a card across the desk. "This is a private investigator I work with. He's discreet, he's good, and he gets results." I took the card. "How much is this going to cost?" "The retainer is $5,000. The investigator is separate. But if you want a clean case, you need evidence that holds up." I thought about the toothbrush, the lies, the late nights. Do it. The investigator's name was Marcus,
former cop, built like a linebacker, spoke in short, clipped sentences. We met at a Starbucks off Providence Road. "What do you need?" he asked. "Proof," I said. "Photos, video, whatever it takes." "Of the affair?" "Yeah." He nodded. "Give me 2 weeks." "That's it? If they're sloppy, I'll have it in 2 days. If they're careful, 2 weeks. Either way, you'll know." He slid a contract across the table. I signed it. "One more thing," he said. "Don't do anything stupid. Don't confront her. Don't tip her off. Let me do my job." "Okay." "I mean it. Guys get emotional. They blow the case. Stay calm." I nodded. He stood up. "I'll be in touch."
For 2 weeks, I lived in limbo. I stayed at my brother's place, told Rachel I needed space to think. She didn't fight it, didn't beg me to come home. She just said, "Okay, let me know when you're ready to talk," like I was the one being unreasonable. I went to work, I ate, I slept, and I waited. Marcus sent updates every few days. Followed subject to Morrison residence, stayed 4 hours. Subject and Morrison seen entering hotel, exited separately 2 hours later. Photographed subjects in vehicle, intimate contact observed. Each message was a nail in the coffin. And then, on day 13, Marcus called. "I've got what you need." We met at the same Starbucks. He handed me a manila envelope. "Everything's in there. Photos, timestamps, video stills. It's airtight." I opened the envelope. The first photo showed Rachel and Kyle walking into a hotel, his hand on her lower back. The second showed them kissing in a parking garage. The third showed them entering his condo, lights on, curtains open. I flipped through the rest, each one worse than the last. "There's also this," Marcus said, sliding a thumb drive across the table. "Audio from a conversation they had outside a restaurant. North Carolina is a one-party consent state. I was the one party. What's on it? Listen for yourself." I plugged the drive into my laptop, put in my earbuds. Rachel's voice came through, clear as day. "When are you going to tell him?" Kyle's voice, smooth, confident. "Tell him what?" "That we're serious, that this isn't just fun." A pause. "Rachel, you know I can't do that. I'm not ready to blow up my life." "What about my life? I'm married, Kyle. I can't keep doing this." "So leave him." "It's not that simple." "Why not? You said he's boring. You said you're not happy." "I'm not, but he's safe. He's stable." "So you want to keep him around as a backup plan?" A long pause. "Maybe." I stopped the recording. Marcus watched me. "You okay?" I wasn't, but I nodded anyway. "Enough?" I asked. "More than enough." I took the envelope to Monica the next day. She went through it methodically. Photos, timestamps, audio transcript. When she finished, she looked up. "This is solid. We can file on grounds of adultery. In North Carolina, that affects alimony." "Good. You'll get a favorable settlement. The house, the assets. She won't have much leverage." "What about her?" "What about her? What does she get?" Monica leaned back. "Honestly, not much. She's the one who cheated. She's employed. She doesn't have a strong case for support. So she walks away with nothing?" "She walks away with what she came in with, and a lesson." I nodded. "Let's do it." I didn't tell Rachel I was filing. I let the process server do it. He showed up at her office on a Wednesday afternoon, handed her the papers in front of her coworkers. She called me 30 seconds later. I didn't answer. She called again and again. 12 missed calls, 23 texts. "Nathan, what the hell is this? You can't be serious. We need to talk. Please call me." I didn't respond. That night, she showed up at my brother's place, pounded on the door. "Nathan, I know you're in there." My brother opened the door. He doesn't want to talk to you. This is between me and my husband. Your husband filed for divorce, so no, it's not. He closed the door. She stood outside for 10 minutes, yelling, crying. Eventually, she left. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered. "Nathan, it's Kyle." I almost hung up. "Don't hang up, just hear me out." "Why would I do that?" "Because this is a misunderstanding." I laughed, bitter, cold. A misunderstanding? "Rachel and I are just friends. She's been going through a rough time. I was supporting her." "With your toothbrush in my bathroom?" Silence. "Yeah," I said. "I know about that. I know about the hotel, the condo, the parking garage. I know everything, Kyle." "Nathan, you want to be with her? Fine, she's all yours. But don't call me and insult my intelligence." I hung up. He didn't call back. The divorce moved fast. Rachel tried to fight it at first, claimed I was being unreasonable, that I'd misunderstood the situation. Then Monica sent her lawyer the evidence, the photos, the audio, the timeline. Rachel's lawyer called Monica the next day. "My client would like to settle." "I'm sure she would," Monica said. We drafted terms. I kept the house, the cars, the retirement accounts. Rachel got her personal belongings in her car. No alimony, no support. Clean break. Her lawyer tried to negotiate. Monica shut it down. "Your client committed adultery. She has no leverage. Take the deal or go to trial." They took the deal. 60 days later, it was final. I signed the papers in Monica's office. Rachel signed hers remotely. We never spoke again. I went home that night, to my home, and walked through the rooms. It felt different, lighter. I went upstairs, into the bathroom. The blue toothbrush was gone. I'd thrown it out the day I left, but the memory of it stayed. That stupid toothbrush, the thing that made me stop ignoring the truth. I brushed my teeth, alone, in my own bathroom, and for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. 6 months later, I was doing okay. I'd started going to the gym again, lost 15 pounds, felt stronger. I'd reconnected with old friends, started playing basketball on weekends. I even went on a few dates. Nothing serious, just getting back out there. One night, I was at a brewery with my brother when I saw her, Rachel. She was at a table in the corner with Kyle. They weren't laughing. They weren't smiling. They looked tired. Kyle was on his phone. Rachel was staring into her drink. They looked like two people who'd run out of things to say. My brother saw them too. "You want to leave?" "No," I said. "I'm good." And I was. I didn't feel anger, didn't feel pain. I felt nothing. They'd gotten what they wanted, each other. And from the looks of it, it wasn't what they'd hoped for. A few weeks later, I ran into one of Rachel's old coworkers at a coffee shop. "Hey, Nathan," she said. "I heard about the divorce. I'm sorry." "Thanks." For what it's worth, Rachel's not doing great. "Oh?" "She and Kyle broke up. Turns out he wasn't ready to commit." She made air quotes. "Shocker, right?" "Yeah," I said. "Shocker. She's been asking about you, wondering if you'd be open to talking." I smiled. "No." "Fair enough." She left. I sat there with my coffee, staring out the window. Rachel had traded stability for excitement. She'd traded a man who loved her for a man who wanted her. And now she had neither. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't feel a little satisfaction. I did. But mostly, I just felt free. Free from the lies, the tracking, the constant wondering. Free from loving someone who didn't love me back. I'd spent months trying to figure out what I did wrong, what I could have done differently. But the truth is, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just married to someone who didn't value what we had, and that's on her, not me. A year after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name was Claire. She was a nurse, worked night shifts at the hospital. We met at a dog park. I'd finally gotten that dog, a rescue mutt named Biscuit. She had a golden retriever named Sunny. The dogs played, we talked. She didn't know about Rachel, didn't know about the toothbrush or the tracking or any of it. She just knew me, the version of me I was now. And that was enough. One night, about 3 months into dating, Claire stayed over. The next morning, she was brushing her teeth in my bathroom. I watched her from the doorway. She caught my eye in the mirror. "What?" "Nothing," I said. "Just, it's nice having you here." She smiled. "It's nice being here." She rinsed her toothbrush, set it in the holder, next to mine. And this time, it didn't make my chest tighten. It just felt right. If you've ever found something in your house that didn't belong, a toothbrush, a receipt, a text message, you know the feeling. That moment when your brain tries to explain it away. It's nothing, you're overreacting, you're being paranoid. But deep down, you know. You always know. The question is, what do you do about it? Do you ignore it? Pretend you didn't see it? Or do you face it head on? I chose to face it. And yeah, it hurt. It sucked. It turned my life upside down. But it also set me free. Because the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a comfortable lie.
Rachel texted me once, about a year after the divorce. "I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're doing okay." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, "I am. I hope you are too." And I meant it. Not because I forgave her, not because I wanted her back, but because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. She made her choices, I made mine, and we both have to live with them. So here's what I learned. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore the signs. Don't explain them away. And if you find a toothbrush in your bathroom that isn't yours, don't just ask whose it is. Ask yourself why you're still standing there. If this story hit home, comment, "Trust your gut." If you've ever ignored a red flag you shouldn't have, if you've ever found something that changed everything, if you've ever had to choose between a comfortable lie and a painful truth, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more real stories about real people navigating the messiest parts of life. Because sometimes the smallest things, a toothbrush, a receipt, a text, tell the biggest truths. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can only decide what to do next.